Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, a market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for August the 31st, 2011. Now our first position for tonight, is going to be in the JP Morgan Chase JPM stock. Now what we're looking for here is a buying opportunity. What I'm seeing, we have our predicted MACD and our predicted true strength indicator both crossing the trigger in heavily oversold territory. Our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences also above the zero line. Now we've had a nice move up on this stock, and we may have missed part of it. But again, I think there's still room for this to move at least to the $40 mark. So let's have a look at the crossovers from the Vantage Point software. We can see here that our short-term crossover from Vantage Point has crossed over about 4 or 5 days ago. Nice move up off this $32, $33 area. Now our medium-term crossover is just crossing this trigger, about 2 or 3 days old now. That's a very positive sign for further gains on this particular stock. And then of course the long-term crossover is only about 3 days old. So everything here looks like we're going to move higher. Now our 18-day predicted moving average coming in at 36.55. That's a key level of support here on this particular stock. Now from here, what we're looking at doing is going into our daily report again from Vantage Point to try and identify an entry. A little bit of a concern. We can see that we've closed at 37.64 yesterday. Today we're closing 37.06. A little bit of a softer close today, but I'm not too concerned with it right now. Right now we know that we have critical support down here at the 36.55 area. Our predicted low is 36.44. So for tomorrow we're going to use that 36.55 as an entry point to get back into a long trade, and then we'll be looking for a move towards the 37.60. That's for an intraday play. Medium and longer term traders, it's very possible that we could push back towards that $40 mark, and I would probably target that particular area now that we've seen the Fed minutes. They are dovish. We're talking about QE3. That is likely to push the equity markets a little bit higher. September is predominantly a very good month for equities also. So using all of these technicals and fundamentals to our advantage, I would shoot for about the $40 mark on this particular stock. But again, we have to remember to identify what's happening in the market. That things are changing very quickly on a day-to-day basis. So that's our first position for tomorrow. Now our second position for tonight is going to be in the Forex market, specifically the Australia-New Zealand cross pair. Now I very seldomly do cross pairs. I've been watching this one. I'm still not convinced that we're going to see a big move to the downside on this particular pair, but there is definitely a trade here and it is progressing. Now our key level here, 125.79, 125.80, and 125.58. We've now closed at 125.31. You can see here on the Vantage Point triple EMA cross that our trend line is on the top here, and it's actually moving consistently lower. New Zealand US is moving higher. This is putting a lot of pressure on this particular pair to the downside. Now what I'm seeing is that as long as we can stay below the 126 level, 126.50, this trade has the potential to move much lower. My concern is again the equity market. So looking at our crossovers, let's have a closer look at this particular trade. Our short-term crossover has been to the downside for the last 4 or 5 days. Now our medium-term crossover is just now crossing the trigger to the downside, trying to confirm that a bigger move is potentially coming. Looking at our long-term crossover, this is again what does concern me, that it's unable to make this move to the downside, but it's definitely trying. Now in support of this trade, we can see that the predicted short, medium, and long-term differences from Vantage Point are breaking back below the zero line. You can see the angle of these lines are clearly pointing down. Our predicted MACD has approached the zero line and is turning down. Predicted true strength indicator, the same thing. We're around that zero line and it's starting to roll over. So let's take a look at this. We know we want to trade it short. We're looking for an entry point up top. Let's go to the vantage point, predicted high and predicted low, and see if we can see how things basically look. Now the first thing I'll look at is the close over the last few days, 125.89, 125.86, and 125.31. So we are moving consistently lower. Now again, tomorrow 125.66 is our predicted high, 124.79. 125.66 coincides with that vantage point predicted moving average sitting up in that 125.70 area. So this looks like a pretty reasonable play. So for tomorrow we're going to use 125.66 to get into this thing short. Our target intraday 124.79. Medium and longer term traders, we potentially could be looking at the 120, 121 level. That's how I would view this. If that triple EMA cross can complete, we are going to see a much bigger move to the downside on this particular pair. Now, my concern again is that this pair has an extremely high correlation to the equity markets. So if we get a big move up on the equities, the New Zealand could give up some strength and the Aussie could actually benefit from a higher, from stronger equities. So just be mindful of that, to keep an eye on that S&P 500, and it will help you gauge this particular trade. So again, we're looking at this 125.66 area. My view on stops should be realistically in the 127 area. I do not believe Forex can be traded with a 20 or 30 pip stop loss on a regular basis. I believe when you're looking at bigger moves and allowing these trades to develop, you need a bigger stop. But again, that has to be in relationship to your account size and everything else. So with that said, these are the market positions for August the 31st, 2011. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.